Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 45. I'm John Cooney, here to talk to you about comics released the 12th of December 2012, beginning with my first 5, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, starting with at number 1, Walking Dead number 105. Robert Kirkman spoke recently about the excitement coming off of issue 100 and the following from the TV show bringing in new readers, saying, quote, I always try to be mindful that anniversary issues are good jumping on points, but also good jumping off points, and try to make every one of them matter. One thing I'm very proud of with issue number 100 is that I think it did set a tone for a new kind of story and a new kind of Walking Dead. It does transition into a new era where there are going to be different occurrences and problems that they're solving. It isn't going to be just, how are we going to live in this world, and the zombies are after us. It definitely has transitioned into something bigger. In that respect, these issues that are coming out now are really good jumping on points for someone who's a fan of the show but hasn't been following the comics. I do like the fact that modern comics are such that there are all these different volumes readily available. You can get issues 1 to 96 in 2 books. I'm really happy that comics have evolved to that point and it's all readily and easily available. Close quote. I agree with him there. I have both and my wife is reading them now. Hey, they're good Christmas presents for the nerd in your life. Of the current storyline, and specifically the brutal enemy Negan, Kirkman says, quote, I think Negan is the first real antagonist we've had since the Governor. We've had the Hunters and others, but no one has taken the center stage for as long as the Governor did. Negan is definitely someone that's going to be important to the book long term. Whether he lives for a while or not remains to be seen, but he'll definitely have an impact on the characters and their future, and he'll have a huge impact on the stories moving forward. Close quote. And number 2, we've got Batman number 15. Death of the Family continues here. The Joker's attacks have taken their toll on Batman and his allies, and now they have to face the impossible. The final madness of the Joker's plan revealed here. Why is he more dangerous now than ever before? Plus, in the backup feature, witness the Joker's confrontation with the Riddler as the horror of the Joker's plan is revealed. Series writer Scott Snyder said, quote, these issues coming up are just amazing. Issue number 15 has some of my favorite moments in the whole story. There have been preview images already that show Bruce talking to the whole family. That conversation and what transpires between them is at the heart of the entire story, and to have them all together in costume, Barbara included, isn't something I've had a chance to do yet. I've had them working in their own books, and I've had them in different ways, like you've seen Damian and Dick and Tim with Bruce, and you've seen Nightwing with Batman, but to see the family united, at least in location, they're not united at all in terms of how they feel about each other right now, but having them there together is a tremendous thrill as a writer. Greg's work on the issue is so important to getting the entire story right because issue 15 has the big emotional showdown between the Bat family characters as to whether or not they believe what the Joker is saying is true. And the emotion that Greg is able to bring to issue 15, I think it'll blow people away. It's a testament to Greg's ability, the expressiveness of the intimate scenes where there isn't bombastic action or gruesome horror happening, there's just emotional tension. I was looking at the pages and even without the dialogue you can feel exactly what the characters are feeling panel to panel. I think the great thing about what's coming up is that we're just getting started. Issue 13 was the Joker saying, I'm back and I have a plan, and issue 14 was him saying, here's the beginning of my plan. Here's me telling you I know who you all are, and I'm going to bring you down one by one. In fact, I'm going to present you to Batman, and Batman is going to be the one that kills you in 3 days from now. So if you think about it, he's really just set things in motion. You know what I mean? So the stuff coming up in number 15 is the aftermath emotionally and what happens between the Bat family. And issue 15 has a really big secret also that's going to come out. Close quote. At number 3, we've got Batgirl 15, another Death of the Family tie-in. With so many funerals planned, the Joker decides it's time for a wedding. Barbara's first confrontation with the Joker since he shot her is coming to its horrifying conclusion. Now, in a strange move by DC editorial last week, Batgirl writer Gail Simone was removed from the book, so this'll be her penultimate chapter, as her run is scheduled to conclude with issue number 16, despite both critical and commercial success. Simone doesn't seem to be happy with the move, as she responded via Twitter and Tumblr, quote, as of Wednesday of last week, I was informed by an email from my new editor that I'm no longer the writer of Batgirl. I cannot express my disappointment at this, she admitted. I think everyone is aware of how important Barbara Gordon is to me and how important it is to me that her stories be told with respect and care, both for the character and the readers. We tried our very best to do that, and it was an honor to write Barbara for these many years. Close quote. Simone had intended to do a recovery arc to reveal how the new 52 Barbara Gordon overcame being disabled and took up the cowl again. Quote, sadly, the new editor nixed everything we had planned. I think it's very likely that will still be covered, but it'll not be in the way that we had been building to, which I'm very sad about. And those issues are already written, but will not be published, I gather. Close quote. At number 4, we've got Avengers Arena number 1. Trapped on an isolated island, 16 superhuman young adults, including cult faves like members of the Runaways, the Avengers Academy, and Darkhawk, are given a chilling ultimatum by their demented captor. Fight or die. Only one will walk out alive. Thus begins a primal battle that will test the skills, stamina, and morals of each combatant. Welcome to Murder World, where the secrets are plenty, alliances are fleeting, and the key to victory might be rewriting the rules of the game. Who will survive? Now, the good news is that I'm really excited to see some of my favorite characters returning in this book, but the bad news is they might die. The book has been compared to Hunger Games in many reviews, and it's not unlikely that Marvel now took the opportunity to cash in on the popularity of the concept. Issue number 1's pages have already been leaked, including a character death at the conclusion of the issue. Now, while I'm not a fan of death in the comics as a means to boost sales, and it's become diminished so much by the rotation of characters returning from death that it's almost lost its significance, I am still hopeful that there's a prospect for compelling drama in this series. And at number 5, we've got Cable and X-Force number 1. Cable is back. Now with a new X-Force at his side, he must tackle the threats that nobody else can know about. But just who are Cable's new recruits, and why is this team public enemy number 1? Caught red-handed at the scene of a terrorist attack on a major American corporation whose CEO has expressed anti-mutant views, the X-Force is on the run with none other than the uncanny Avengers in hot pursuit. Series writer Dennis Hopeless described the series and the team, quote, "I see Cable and X-Force as a crime book. In my favorite crime stories, the characters are always at each other's throats. This X-Force needed to be like that, a team of specialists who work well together but don't always like each other. We tried to pick big personalities who were likely to clash in high-stress situations. There are characters I wanted and didn't get, but I'm pretty thrilled with the final roster. It's a powder keg." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 699.1. As Dr. Octopus's schemes take shape, Morbius the living vampire returns with a vengeance. Will he be able to resist the siren song of blissful bloodsucking, or will Spider-Man sling him straight back into the slammer? Your first look at next month's all-new Morbius ongoing series. At number 7, we've got Batman and Robin number 15, a Death of the Family tie-in. It's Damian versus the Joker. Has the Joker finally met a Robin as dangerous as he is, or will the Clown Prince of Crime claim another of Batman's allies as his victim? At number 8, we've got Suicide Squad number 15, another Death of the Family tie-in. Harley continues her rather unpleasant reunion with the Joker, and has the violent life of the squad finally claimed Deadshot? At number 9, we've got Before Watchmen Rorschach number 3 of 4, and I've mentioned last week that the solicits for these books only include a pull quote from the book. This one is, "Brothers, this town is ours." And at number 10, we've got Before Watchmen Dr. Manhattan number 3 of 4, and the pull quote from this book is, "I have named the disease, but what is the cure?" For the best of the rest this week from DC Comics, we've got Ravagers number 7, the return of Warblade and Rose Wilson. Can the team finally act like a team and survive? Beast Boy deals with the side effects of the rot, and Caitlin asks Superboy the unthinkable. We've got Superboy number 15, the Hell on Earth crossover event continues. Hell takes Supergirl on a whirlwind tour of Earth and even space, all in an attempt to sway her to his cause. On the surface of the sun, Supergirl must make a choice, Earth or Hell. We've got Team 7 number 3. From the pages of Red Hood and the Outlaws, the mysterious Essence joins the team's battle against the Heart of Darkness known as the Black Diamond. Before he was Deathstroke the Terminator, Slade Wilson was possessed by Eclipso. Is this the secret origin of a supervillain? The secret history of the superhuman Cold War is here. From Marvel Comics, we've got Avengers Assemble number 10. Did you know that there's a theory that bacteria in our bodies actually controls our moods and may even be responsible for elements of our personalities? Tony Stark and Bruce Banner did. What happens when a 20-million-year-old evolutionary catalyst infects a Hulk? Could it be a cure? Meanwhile, on the outside, Captains Marvel and America must find the missing scientist before he unleashes said bacteria on the world. We've got Fantastic Four number 2. The first family leaves time and space. How long can Reed hide his motivations from his family? What undiscovered places, what amazing things, and what incredible people are out there waiting to meet the Fantastic Four? We've got Iron Man number 4. The new Iron Man's heavy-duty suit debuts. The least subtle Iron Man armor of all time. Tony's hunt for extremists takes him to the ancient catacombs of Paris, where absolute horror awaits. Things man was not meant to know versus the man who wants to know everything. We got Scarlet Spider number 12. Kane goes head-to-head with the Hand and Bruiser. Come celebrate the conclusion of Scarlet Spider's first wonderful year with Chris Yost and Riley Brown. We've got Ultimate Comics Iron Man number 3 of 4. Tony and Rhodey against a sky full of Stark drones. What secret lies in Howard Stark's past, and what does Tony know about it? Iron Man comes face to face with the Mandarin. We got Ultimate Comics X-Men number 20 by Brian Wood. The Reservation X arc continues as Storm helps terraform the reservation. Rogue gets an unexpected visitor. Mach 2's play for power takes a new turn. Got X-Treme X-Men number 7.1. Jump on here. If you haven't been reading, start here to find out what you've been missing. Dazzler and her team find themselves in a war against the Brood, but the dimension they land in is a little too close to home. From Dark Horse, we've got the massive number 7. The capital stumbles upon a newly declared sovereign nation, a community of hundreds living in oil platforms with dreams of forming a new utopia. With the world's governments and economies in shambles in a post-crash world, is this new quote-unquote country the hope and future that Callum Israel and the Ninth Wave are looking for, or is it the divisive issue that'll bring his crew to the breaking point? From Valiant, we've got Archer and Armstrong number 5. This is an all-new arc. Not even time itself can escape the Eternal Warrior. No one in the Valiant universe is more terrifying, more dangerous, or more experienced in the art of war than the undying Eternal Warrior. After thousands of years on the battlefield, he's a master of strategy and weaponry, an unrelenting force of nature capable of dismantling entire armies with little effort and less conscience. His brother Armstrong, on the other hand, likes to read poetry and drink beer. Maybe that's why they had such a bad falling out. But now, after years apart, the Eternal Warrior has a new mission: destroy young Obadiah Archer, Armstrong's bestest new buddy and teammate in the war against the sect. And, like it or not, Valiant's history-smashing adventure duo is about to feel the wrath of the Eternal Warrior's fist and steel. We've got Bloodshot number 6. What dark secrets connects Project Rising Spirit and Toyo Hareda's Harbinger Foundation? Bloodshot is the creation of Project Rising Spirit, and for years they have loaned him out to the U.S. government for the kinds of insane, blood-splattered missions that only the nanite-enhanced commando could possibly survive. But those will be nothing compared to the horrors that await him inside the heavily fortified walls of PRS itself, whose subterranean levels are populated by failed projects that kill and maim for fun. And God help anyone who dares pry open the doors of the nursery. In addition to trades this week, I wanted to mention some reprints that Image is producing in a series called Image First. We've got a series of reprinted number 1 books that they're releasing for only $1, including Image First Chew number 1, Image First Fatale number 1, Image First Revival number 1, Image First Saga number 1, Image First The Manhattan Project number 1, Image First Thief of Thieves number 1, and Image First Walking Dead number 1. And in addition to these reprints, we've got a trade paperback from DC, the new 52-0 Omnibus hardcover. In September, DC Entertainment revealed the origin, secrets, and shocking fates of top superheroes in 56 special number 0 issues starring Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, and more. Now these issues are collected in a massive hardcover just in time for the holiday season, with stories written and illustrated by top talent including Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison, Jim Lee, Brian Azzarello, Scott Snyder, and many more. At 1,344 pages, that's almost 8.5 pounds of comics. Well, that's it for this week. As usual, there's still plenty more books out this week that I didn't mention, so be sure to check with your local comic book shop and see what else is available, and let me know if there are books that I'm overlooking. You can check in with me on my comic book blog at he'sgotissues.com and let me know what you're reading, as well as see what I'm reading as I read it. I also wanted to remind you that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network, so you can find us there along with several other great comics-related podcasts. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.